Hello, thank you for tuning in to MTDC's Growing Tech Talents with me, Syed Fardino Omar, and today we want to talk about cybersecurity. Why, you might ask? Why not? Because the pandemic has accelerated the need to be safe, especially when you're online. Everything that we do, be it living or working and trading and doing business, happens online. So it is great to have with me on set today Tuan Faisal Azmi, the Chief Growth Officer of Nexagate. But I understand that you want me to call you something else.
A pleasure to be here. Thank you for the introduction. Yes, I'm passionately known as Tapai in the industry. Friends and in the cybersecurity industry would call me as Tapai lah. So you may address me as Tapai.
Thank you, thank you. But let's carry on, because we're talking about something that's super crucial right now, cybersecurity, right? And your outfit is basically charting waves and creating innovation within this sphere. In a nutshell, why don't you tell us what Nexagate does and what are the things that excites you the most in terms of innovation from the company right now?
Okay, so Nexagate, our vision is to ensure that everyone is safe in the cyberspace. It's safe in terms of what? We look into the processes, establishing security processes. We can perform security assessments to make sure that your infra is safe. And also we have a 24/7 security operations center in KL Eco City, which would help monitor, defend and protect your infrastructure. And also at the moment we are very proud to be able to develop our own NSI, which is a Unified Security Management Platform. This is by 10 of our own local developers here, of course funded by MTDC. And the purpose is to provide visibility for companies, for organizations to know where they are in terms of cybersecurity, whether or not they have enough initiatives in place to make sure that they are safe.
So tell us about the need to have a safe and secure environment to run these outfits from your perspective.
Right. So this is when we're talking about digital transformation in general. On an organization level, for banks and FSIs, people need to provide services bigger, faster, better, right? And they need to scale to provide value to the people. So, for example, banks or telcos and even the government as well, they need to provide their services faster. So one of the way is to embrace cloud. You know, everything now, as simple as your Gmail, it's a cloud solution. When you talk about your Google Drives and whatnot, everything there, Office 365, everything is on the cloud. So you are moving towards there, and you have your websites, your application, e-commerce, especially during the COVID itself. There are a lot of more people buying online, embracing e-commerce. So all this would is being able to be exploited by hackers if they know how. Right. So that with all this, as the infrastructure grows, then there will be more what we call cyber attack vectors. A lot of more ways that the hackers can attack from the people, or based on the technology side or on the process side.
This is where you come in.
Yes, I mean we would come in and look at what you would need to make sure, number one, we would identify what is that information that is important. So for example, you have businesses or SMEs, they have a secret sauce. The last thing they want is a competitor to have their hands on that. So this is where they really need to make sure that everything is safe. And it can be as simple as, an employee mistaking an attachment in an email over to someone in the public, which is not. So those are security. Now, the main misconception about security is that everyone thinks that you put in an antivirus, you put in technology, it does wonders and magic. It does protect you to a certain extent, but at the end of the day, there is also the process and people element that you need to take care. Because phishing attacks can come in, and one of the cases that we encounter is that a phishing attack whereby the hacker was already inside the infrastructure for 3 months, looking at all the invoices, all the documents that come in, and they did an invoice fraud. And the finance happily transferred 1.5 million. And this is an SME, so 1.5 million is a lot.
Yeah.
And it happened 3 times.
Wow.
So that is, for an SME, you can't take that hit.
Yes.
Number one, financial hit. And number two would be the branding hit. Once word is out that your customers' data are being sold on the dark web, nobody would trust your brand. And you know that to gain back that trust is 10 times harder than to keep it.
So from a local perspective, a Malaysian perspective, right? So what are the things that needs addressing the most? Coming from a company that actually provides the solutions and addressable solutions for the problems.
Yep. Awareness is key. Number one, we do awareness for the employees, for the key stakeholders, for them to start even thinking about increasing their cybersecurity maturity. That's number one. Number two, we look at once they are ready to embark on a cybersecurity initiative, we would normally look at their processes. What gaps do they have in terms of processes? We are looking at HR policies. Example, if you have a staff that has just resigned, how long do you keep the account? We're looking at finance, supplier management, the records. We're looking at hiring as well. What kind of background check do you do? Do you do social media?
So this is the services portion of the company, but you've also got a product
Yes,
that you have developed.
So what we've done is based on our 10 years of experience, we developed our own platform, which is called the NSI, Unified Security Management Platform, which has the 3 pillars, actually 4 pillars, the awareness, the risk and compliance. We look at the threat module and also have a protection module. So that is something that we've developed in-house for the past 2 years now.
Right, and when you say develop in-house, that means we're talking about Malaysians actually developing this.
Yes.
Okay, Tapai, so now let's talk a little bit about the skills that is required to actually weather this storm. So question number one, do you feel that the Malaysian talents that you currently have right now, do they have what is needed? Number two, if they don't, what do you do to actually ensure that you are equipping them with the right skills and knowledge to come up with the innovation up to the level that is required?
Right. Okay. So number one is the most important thing is installing a growth mindset. That is the key number one, because you can't get people to learn new things if they don't want to. So that is the most important thing, the commitment towards a growth mindset. This is when we're talking about having the challenges of course you are busy with your operation day to day. Growth is most of the time an important but not urgent, is considered one of those activities. So you would look at day-to-day operations and handle those first. Without the growth mindset, this would be on the side. So what we do is that we do engagements with our clients. Our leaders are now on the ground talking to each and every one of our employees and engaging them, asking them where they want to go. As simple as your career, and talking to them about what are their passion projects on the side that they have. Some of them they want to develop an app. Some of them want to develop a simulation of cybersecurity lab and whatnot. So we do encourage that. We do encourage this kind of thinking within Nexagate itself.
To shoulder growth from within an organization itself is super heavy, right? And I would imagine that involvement by people like MTDC would be very, very much welcome. So what is the synergy? Tell me about the relationship that you have with the likes of MTDC, right. and what is the synergy? What is your hope and expectations going forward as well, seeing as though they've played a role in your past, but also looking ahead?
Yeah. So the role of MTDC is very, very big to the growth of Nexagate in regards to the NSI itself. So the relationship is that MTDC is funding Nexagate and specifically looking at the growth towards the development of the NSI platform itself. So that is the key growth factor moving ahead for Nexagate for the next 10 years. Because we're looking at scalability. When you talk about services, there you are limited. The bottleneck is the number of man hours. You want to scale, you need to add more people, right? Now we are talking towards moving to becoming a tech company. Now MTDC is key towards us shifting from a service company towards becoming a tech company.
Looking at in terms of demand and supply, once the demand has exploded, do you strongly believe that the current supply of your cybersecurity adik seedlings, like you mentioned earlier, is going to be enough to ensure that the nation that we live in right now is going to have a secure environment?
Yes, we do have talents here in Malaysia itself. I mean, the biggest risk is that if you don't pay attention to the talents, they would move elsewhere, and hence the whole brain dump all over again. We want to keep them here because we do have very, very good talents. I can even see that in Nexagate. For example, in the office, we make sure that we have fun, we engage them so that they can explore each other more and engage each other more so that they can build towards that. And as far as commitment is concerned, Malaysia is very high with regards to the global index, cybersecurity index, amongst the 193 countries in the world. We are actually ranked number 3 in terms of commitment towards cybersecurity. Number 1 is US, number 2 is Canada, number 3 is Malaysia, tied with Oman for the 2021 index. So that is commitment overall, which translates to the talents that we have here in Malaysia. And I am very, very positive towards, if we pay attention and make sure that they grow in the right context, in the right ecosystem, they will be able to make sure that the whole country is safe. Right? Talk about in all the macro and the micro levels. Talk about the nation as well, protecting the country against nation-sponsored threats and whatnot, and to personal hacker attacks towards organizations, towards the SMEs. Because something just came to mind is that do you know that ASEAN has the highest attack towards SMEs? This is research came by Kaspersky. They blocked 1.6 million attacks towards SMEs in the ASEAN region, and that's a lot.
Yeah.
So that's why the focus now on ourselves, coming from the vision of ensuring everyone is safe in the cyberspace. Now we are serving enterprise banks and the bigger players. Now we're looking to SMEs as well.
Cascading down as well.
And MTDC plays a part in that. Because what we are doing now is we are partnering up with MTDC to engage MTDC ecosystem companies, those who are being funded by MTDC as well, for us to make sure that they start establishing some security processes wherever they are. They might be a three-man team now, but they can already start establishing good practices right from the start.
Right.
So that is what we do really believe in, and we are ready. We are ready.
Now, before we close, Tapai, one off-tangent question. What do you do when you disconnect? What do you do when you say, okay, time for me to go offline? As a leader, what do you do?
Right. I spend time with my daughter and my wife. And I love them so much because of, they're my family. Really, I am so proud to see my daughter grow. She's 4 years old now. Even the fact that I can just sit down and watch her play, that already takes a load of stress and being disconnected. And I love going out with them, as simple as just sitting down, quiet with them. That would mean the world to me, and disconnect.
Well, I hope that the environment that your daughter is going to grow up in is going to be as safe as how you're working hard for it to be. Tapai, thank you so much for your time. You've been watching MTDC's Growing Tech Talents with me, Syed Fardin Omar, and I've been with Tuan Faizal Azmi, or Tapai, the Chief Growth Officer of Nexagate. So we'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.